Hey guys, Cam for 15 back it up with another video for you guys. Back with another from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman episode review for you guys. As we get the final episode of season one here. And the good thing is this is not it. We are actually going to get more from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman content going forward, and it actually got announced after the episode aired that we're getting to season two, which is really good. I'm happy that this show isn't a one and done. We're actually getting more content, and I'm very much excited to see where the story is going to go with Beryl and everything. But yeah, man, this episode was really good. We finally get the truth revealed about why Rose did what she did. And then obviously we get the conclusion for a bit and then stuff like that. But this episode was strictly Rose versus Beryl. And basically, you just have it to where Beryl is like, why did you do what you did? Are you like the leader of these assassins that are going after the prince? And basically, we kind of find out like the reason why Rose is doing what she is doing is because one, you remember from the last episode, she gravitated towards kids and she looked like she did really good with kids. Well, we find out like she's basically running this orphanage and kind of taking care of these children, and that we already know of. And basically, the thing is, she's afraid that the kingdom is going to basically take those rights of those kids away and basically do these bad things and everything. But in reality, we find out like she's been working with alongside the Pope, and the Pope has been kind of manipulating her to do all this stuff to go after the king, or the future king, the prince, to kill him. But what she doesn't realize is she's actually being used by the Pope, and the Pope is actually holding these children hostage, and because of it, boom, that's kind of the thing there. And that's it. By the end of the fight, that's what Beryl deduces what's happening, and she basically makes this great mistake. Like this shit is like was all preventable, as if she didn't listen to the Pope and the Pope wasn't taking advantage of her. But you kind of have her reasons of doing what she's doing, and she was 100% convicted in doing that. So, you just have it to where she's like, all right, let's go, master. And their fight was crazy. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I cannot believe this man is actually fighting one of his students. And I think I forgot to make a mention. I forgot to make a mention in last week's episode. Again, correct me if I'm wrong if I did, but I'll say it again if I did say it. But it is kind of an interesting storyline to see like one of his students, kind of being misguided and going on a path that wasn't of, you know, the right thing to do in terms of, Beryl teaching somebody how to raise and use the sword when he was training with them, right? And to see the fact that one of his students actually like was actually doing things and killing people instantly, like it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But I did like their fight because the thing is, she has the shield, and it was throwing Beryl off his game a bit. And he was trying to find openings, but she wasn't giving him any openings. But eventually, he finds that opening in the nick of time and takes down Rose, and he actually cuts her down. I was absolutely shocked at the fact that like he cut her down, he sliced her, and I'm like, oh wow. She starts gushing blood and everything. And she's like, well, do it, master. Finish me off. Kill me. And basically, Beryl doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to kill Rose. Because he's like, no, Rose, I'm not gonna cut you down. I'm not gonna kill you because that's just kind of an excuse to. It's kind of an excuse for you to get away with the shit that has been going on and everything. And you know, that was all mind blowing right then and there because he's like, look, no, you're gonna serve your punishment for what you did. I'm not gonna kill you so you can get away scot free because I know that would mean you don't have to face the repercussions and the punishments for your actions, right? But in reality, knowing this, knowing we can turn you in, you can face the crimes that you did rightfully. Now, the other Holy Knight commander shows up and he's like, what the hell is going on here? And basically it's revealed to him, he finds out like, yes, Rose was in it, on it the whole time. So basically the thing is, Beryl's like, so what's the next steps? Are we gonna arrest her and she's gonna be taken, and put in prison? And basically the Holy Knight's like, well, probably not, because if Rose is basically found out to the public, like she tried to actively kill the prince, well, she's probably going to be like put to death essentially. And basically, it's kind of the whole thing of like, if this gets out, like they're going to be in trouble. Like they're going to be in trouble, and they could basically get put to death because of this. And it makes sense for Rose's case. Like she's going against royalty. She tried to kill the prince. So who is it gonna end up becoming the future king, right? So it would make sense for like, if found out, like the prince is legitimately just gonna be like, yeah, you tried to kill me. You might have other accomplices. So I'm not going to take any chances. You're dying. And Rose would probably be instantly put to death. Like it wouldn't be like, oh no, you're put in prison for life. No, you're probably like put to death because you actually tried to kill a future king essentially because of it. So basically the dude is like, look, also we do find out like that dude, Rose is actually the dude's brother-in-law, or that's his sister, or yeah, you get my point, right? And the fact is like that's actually they're actually related because they've been they have family members and stuff like that. So that was crazy within itself, and I'm like, okay, now it makes sense why he's kind of protective over her, right? Over Rose. So basically him, Rose, and Beryl kind of make the treaty of like, hey, you're not going to tell anybody what happened here, because if they find out, well, we're all going to be in trouble, right? And they're going to basically convict you. So Beryl basically has to keep his mouth shut about it and not bring it up to anybody whatsoever about it, right? So there's that right then and there. But he kind of takes her away to go like basically kind of just be like, he's not really, she's gonna go away, kind of atone for what she's done and everything, but kind of live a life of peace, for the time being, which is what I'm kind of getting at, to be honest. So there's that. But anyways, you just have it to where Alucia and the others, they kind of take down the last of the assassins that were going after the prince. Beryl shows up and they're like, hey, are you okay? And Beryl's like, yeah, I'm good. I've taken care of what needs to be taken care of, and the leader's been dealt with. So there's that. But essentially what happens is, because of it, they get back to the capital city, and essentially Beryl is basically presented in front of the king for what he did. And basically they asked him like, hey, we basically kind of want you to be the prince's bodyguard. Now, Alucia's like, well, actually, if you were to do that, well, it would take away from, the sword, basically the Knight Academy, in terms of getting them better. Because, look, he is a master swordsman, and we could definitely use him for obviously reasons. And the king is like, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. We don't want our men to be basically being lackadaisical with their training and stuff like that. So, essentially, that's what the plan is. And the plan is the fact that, Beryl's still going to be with the army, training them up and being a master swordsman and stuff like that. We also do still find out he doesn't consider himself a master swordsman because he still hasn't beat his dad yet. But, we do actually cut over to his dad and one of his former students. And essentially the thing is, the dad is like, well, he's got a lot of big things ahead of him. So, that's going to probably lead into season 2 and everything. So there's that. And then you just basically have it to where you have another nice moment between him and Miwi. Again, the father-daughter like bond. And it's kind of the whole thing of like, after he got back, he wanted to eat Miwi's cooking because Miwi's like, wait, didn't you just like have an audience with like the king? Like, didn't you just get done eating? And he's like, yeah, I did, but your food ain't their food wasn't as good as like yours, and I really do enjoy eating your food. So it's an adorable father-daughter type of thing where the daughter makes the father the meal for dinner, and the father is like, I could eat this all day, all I want. I just want your food, me. It's gonna be funny, man. It's gonna be funny, man. I wonder if in like the second season, eventually it's gonna be like an episode where he's gonna be like, Mewy, are you gonna call me dad at some point? Like this man's a proud papa, bro. Which makes sense. Which it's gonna be like, okay, bro, like man's gonna have to get a woman, and then next thing you know, that's gonna be the new mom. So, yeah, that's it. And then basically, it's kind of it. And that's really, he goes back to the dojo area, and he's there to train more people. So overall, I thought season one of Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman was really damn good. It was a really damn good show. I really definitely 100% did enjoy watching the show, and being able to, review it on the channel on a weekly basis, and stuff like that. I did like it. I know even in the Rose fight that it was 3D elements, but honestly, the 3D looked fine. Like, there wasn't janky or anything. The CGI was honestly good. And again, the fights and the choreography of the fights were really good as well. So yeah, and then also I gotta just commend this show. Like, when I made a mention before. I not only said it in my, what I will watch for Summer of Anime 2025 video, right? But at the same time, I also made a mention about it in other reviews. But, the fact of like on the poster, it looks like this could be like a generic harem show, fantasy like harem show where it's this old dude who has all these students that, are more than likely women, and they all have an affection for him because they trained him, and they probably want to get in this dude's pants and have a legitimate relationship with this dude, Beryl. But no, it actually, again, like I said before, I'll say it again, I'm just glad it wasn't actually a harem. Like, the fact, like, yes, does it have some harem components with multiple girls basically like kind of getting jealous over, spending time with Beryl and things like that, like Lucia and Serena, for example, and then things like that, right? Yes, you do have those moments, but like the fact that they really didn't like legitimately like make it overbearing to the point like, okay, yes, this is another girl that is now added to the harem and stuff like that. Like legit, and honestly, when you come out of this show, he legitimately has like three major girls that are probably you. I guess if you want to consider in his harem, right? And that's Lucia, Serena, and then Rose. I do wonder if Rose is going to show up in season two, and stuff like that. So we'll see. But yeah, it is crazy to say that, to say the least. There, I guess also if you want to add Lucy to the harem, I guess you can add Lucy to the harem too, even though they kind of just more like on business type of relationship. But again, you know, the fact that like the show wasn't a breakout harem and it was just about a dude who trained his students, reconnected with some of his students, but at the same time is going on his own adventures and showing his strength as a swordsman for just only greater things for him to do. It's gonna be amazing, man. It's gonna be amazing. So regardless, excuse me, sorry it's late for me. I very much enjoyed the show, and I definitely can't wait for season two. I was actually pretty glad, or not glad, but I was actually pretty shocked that they announced a season two for this show that fast. Like, I thought it'd be that type of, I thought this show would be like either the one and done season show, and then you go check out the source material, um or it was gonna be like, what is it? I'm trying to think. Where it's that one show where it's like, okay, there probably will be a season two, but it might be like 2-3 years down the road. Like, we wouldn't get this season to like 2027 or 2028, right? That's when, that would be when we would get the second season. No, we're getting it next year, from what it says in 2026. So, you know, I know the world is like going absolutely freaking crazy right now, especially if you're in the States and stuff like that. And what's been going on in the world, again, like I said, I think I said this in my, Fire Force review that I already posted to the channel. I'm like, God willing, nothing crazy happens to the point where this earth is no longer here because of shit going on in the real world and stupid stuff, right? That personally, it's realistically out of our control. It's just the people that run countries and they're just, blah, 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 blah. But I won't get into that, right? Um, so you have all that situation and stuff like that. But I'm definitely looking forward to next year. I bet that it will probably air in the same time like it did here, Spring of Anime 2026, and stuff like that. And it's gonna be interesting to see where we're gonna go, because um we'll see, because clear. I wonder if there's gonna be more of a central. I wonder if the focus in season two is gonna be more of a focus on the church and the Pope and everything and how corrupt that is, and stuff like that. Maybe trying to shut down that operation. Excuse me, and stuff like that. But if we get kind of the episodic weekly type of thing, I'm also cool with that. So. Yeah, but I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more anime content or any other reviews or gameplays that I potentially upload to the channel, and stuff like that. I know the Ju-Fu-Fu patch for Zenless Zone Zero is coming out this upcoming Wednesday. So I will be doing the covering her character story, as well as I will be doing the Ju-Fu-Fu pulls, as much as I can grind up a bunch of resources and stuff like that for that. So yeah, but that's all I gotta say. So if you guys like the video, again, leave your likes and stuff like that. And yeah, but anyways, we're closing down on the stretch for some of these spring animes. I'll get out some of these reviews. Sometime, as I get down, I definitely got to do a Go-Go Loser Ranger review with the shit that's going on there. That might be just a compacted review based on how the next episode ends and stuff like that. Shinjui Family Children, I think I'll do a dual episode review, which is covering the last two this past episode and then this upcoming episode and stuff like that. So yeah, but other than that, that's basically all I gotta say. I'm gonna get out of here, guys, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Till then, guys, peace.